For centuries, Europeans believed the world ended here. Beyond Portugal's towering cliffs stretched an ocean filled with monsters, endless storms, and the unknown. Yet while others feared the horizon, Portuguese sailors chose to sail straight into it. Their courage connected continents, reshaped global trade, and changed human history forever. But Portugal's greatest secret isn't hidden in its famous castles or colorful cities. It lives in forgotten fishing villages, mysterious forests wrapped in mist, ancient stone streets where time barely moves, and islands rising from the middle of the Atlantic. This is a country that once discovered the world. Yet today, it remains one of Europe's most overlooked treasures. Welcome to Hidden Worlds. This is the Hidden Portugal. Standing on Portugal's western coast, it's easy to understand why ancient civilizations believed this was the end of the world. Long before satellites and modern maps, the Atlantic Ocean seemed endless. Beyond the towering cliffs of Cabo da Roca, the westernmost point of mainland Europe, there was only an endless horizon where the sea disappeared into the sky. To the Romans, this was a land at the edge of civilization. They called it Finis Terrae, the end of the earth. Sailors feared sailing farther west, convinced they would encounter monstrous waves, violent storms, or simply fall into the unknown. For centuries, these stories shaped how people understood the world. Yet Portugal's geography created a very different way of thinking. Unlike many European kingdoms that expanded across land, Portugal had little room to grow. Mountains formed natural barriers to the east, while the Atlantic Ocean stretched endlessly to the west. Instead of turning inward, the Portuguese looked toward the sea. The Atlantic became more than a coastline. It became a road. Fishing communities learned to read the winds, the tides, and the stars with remarkable precision. Generation after generation, their knowledge slowly transformed fear into confidence. Every voyage ventured a little farther than the last, pushing the limits of what people believed possible. This quiet relationship with the ocean would eventually inspire one of history's greatest eras of exploration. But before Portuguese ships crossed oceans and connected continents, the country's identity had already been shaped by something much simpler, living every day beside an ocean that most of the world feared. Perhaps Portugal's greatest discovery was never a distant land. Perhaps it was learning that the unknown is not a wall, but an invitation. Portugal has never been a large country. Surrounded by powerful neighbors and the Atlantic Ocean, it faced a simple choice: look inward or sail outward. In the 15th century, it chose the sea. Under Prince Henry the Navigator, Portuguese sailors improved ships, navigation, and map-making. Their goal wasn't simply to explore, but to answer one question: what lies beyond the horizon? Voyage after voyage, they sailed farther than anyone before them. The myths of sea monsters and endless oceans slowly disappeared, replaced by real coastlines, new trade routes, and distant civilizations. Within a few decades, Portuguese explorers reached Africa, India, Brazil, and East Asia. A kingdom of just a few million people suddenly became one of the world's greatest maritime powers, connecting continents through the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Portugal proved that history isn't always changed by the biggest nation. Sometimes, it's changed by the one willing to sail first. If you're enjoying Hidden Worlds, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more untold stories from around the globe. But Portugal's greatest legacy isn't found on old maps. It's hidden in the landscapes that shaped the people who dared to cross the unknown. Portugal's greatest treasure isn't something people built. It's the landscape itself. Along the Atlantic coast, towering cliffs rise above crashing waves, while hidden beaches appear between walls of golden rock. Just a few hours inland, vineyards climb steep valleys where the Douro River has carved its path for thousands of years. Farther north, mountains and forests create an entirely different world, often covered in mist during the early morning. And hundreds of kilometers into the Atlantic lie Madeira and the Azores, volcanic islands shaped by fire beneath the ocean, before becoming some of Europe's most breathtaking landscapes. These places don't just look beautiful. They shaped the people who lived here. Fishermen learned to respect the sea. Farmers adapted to rocky hillsides, and entire communities built their lives around nature instead of trying to conquer it. Perhaps that's why Portugal feels different. It doesn't compete with nature, it lives beside it. But if nature gave Portugal its beauty, its people gave the country something even more unforgettable. A culture that has endured for centuries without losing its soul. Portugal's history can be seen in its castles and monuments, but its soul lives in everyday life. Walk through the narrow streets of Lisbon or Porto, and you'll hear the sound of fado, a style of music filled with longing, hope, and memories of those who sailed away, never knowing if they would return. It reflects a uniquely Portuguese feeling known as saudade, a deep sense of missing something that may never come back. Across the country, colorful ceramic tiles, known as azulejos, decorate homes, churches, and railway stations. They are more than beautiful artwork. They quietly preserve stories, traditions, and moments from Portugal's past. Food is equally connected to the sea. Fresh seafood, grilled sardines, salted cod, and the famous pastel de nata have become symbols of a culture shaped by both the Atlantic Ocean and centuries of global exchange. Portugal reminds us that true identity isn't built only by history. It's built by the traditions people continue to live every single day. But beyond these familiar traditions lies another Portugal, one that even many visitors never discover. Let's travel there next. Most visitors remember Portugal for Lisbon, Porto, or its sunny beaches. But the country's true character is often found far from its busiest streets. In the mountain villages of schist villages, stone houses have stood for centuries, surrounded by forests where life still moves at a slower pace. Along the dramatic Atlantic coast, small fishing communities continue, traditions passed down through generations, heading out to sea before sunrise just as their ancestors once did. On the islands of the Azores, volcanic lakes, green valleys and steaming hot springs create landscapes unlike anywhere else in Europe. Here, nature remains the main architect, and people have learned to live in harmony with it rather than change it. These hidden places remind us that Portugal isn't defined by famous landmarks alone. Its greatest beauty lies in the quiet moments, in villages where neighbors still know each other, in family recipes shared across generations, and in coastlines where the Atlantic continues to shape everyday life. The more you slow down, the more Portugal reveals itself. And perhaps that's the country's greatest secret. But every journey must come to an end. Before we leave Portugal, there's one final lesson this remarkable country has to share. Portugal teaches us that greatness isn't measured by size. It is a country that stood at the edge of the known world, yet chose to move forward instead of turning back. That spirit of curiosity changed history, but it also shaped a culture that remains humble, welcoming, and deeply connected to the sea. Today, Portugal is no longer an empire. Yet its greatest achievement may not be the lands it once reached, but the way it continues to preserve its traditions, landscapes, and way of life in a rapidly changing world. Perhaps that's why so many people leave Portugal with the feeling that they have discovered something more than beautiful places. They have discovered a country that reminds us to slow down, to stay curious, and to appreciate the simple things that often matter the most. The world still holds countless hidden stories, and sometimes the smallest countries tell the biggest ones. Thank you for joining us on this journey through hidden Portugal. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like this video, subscribe to Hidden Worlds, and share it with someone who loves discovering places beyond the ordinary. Until our next adventure, keep exploring, because the world's greatest wonders are often the ones hidden in plain sight.